Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us this evening for our program, Build Your Career in Construction Trades Management. This evening, we're going to cover practical skills and career strategies and educational options that can help set you apart in your construction and trades industry. Our goal for this evening in the event is to help equip you with some resources that hopefully you can use right away. Here are some of the highlights of our event. We hope to give you a better understanding of what construction trades management really means. And we also want to help you discover how you can advance your degree with some of the opportunities here at Miller-Motte, and that whether that means from going to your diploma, to your associates and into our new bachelor's in construction trades management. And then finally, we're going to help you learn some strategies that can help you not only highlight your technical expertise, but also highlight some of the leadership skills that employers want to see in those interviews to help you land a job after you get your degree. So now that you have heard about where we're going this evening, it's time to hear from our leadership in our program. Gerald Collins is our program lead for our construction trades management, and he's going to teach you a little bit more about our program and the opportunities available for you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for everybody that joined and for letting me present. So we'll just get right into it. What is construction and trades management? So I'll read that little part. Construction and trades management combines your technical trade expertise with essential business skills, preparing you to lead teams, manage projects, and drive business success in the construction industry. So a little bit more about that. So construction and trades management, it it could be as simple as installing a mailbox. It doesn't have to be something huge like we would think a major skyscraper. You go about it the same process. So you need to know where you're going to put it. Do you have the funding? You're going to purchase the materials. The materials is already engineered basically, but still, so you manage that process, and it's the same thing. So then we also have the larger projects where it might be a multi-million-dollar skyscraper or a factory, but it all goes together the same way. And a construction manager, trades manager, they work with other disciplines that they have input in this. So your architect or engineer, we call them design professionals. You get your designs, your specs for what size steel, how the concrete needs to be. You get that from them. Then we work with legal department on what we can and can't do. The finance team. You have vendors. Maybe the vendors is the ones doing the work for you, but you still manage the project. You manage them. So there's a lot of different disciplines that we work with just to manage each project. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so some career pathways from trade to leadership. So your basic one is trade diploma. That even could be a certificate or something. And that's kind of where I started too. So your entry trades person. You might be HVAC technician, welder, electrician, plumber. There's other ones, but that's kind of your basic, and that's your entry. Let's get started with some work. Now you just work with a lot of years of experience and move up into the management, or you could just continue with that and maybe been electricians for you, but if you want more, then you can go for the associate degree. So then that gives more opportunities to where you can lead these projects, site supervisor, foreman, coordinator. ISO, that's more money, and you've expedited that process. So instead of just working 20 years and hope for a management position, now you've got a little bit of an edge on other people. Then you can take it a step further with our management degree in construction and trades management. So a lot of employers, they really look for that. It's really sought after for you to have that background in the business, the leadership, the little bit of the finance and economics, and then the just the main part of the discipline of the different construction trades and stuff. That's really helpful to move up. So then your advanced career, senior leadership. So VP of major construction companies or director. Uh, a lot of companies has their own in-house construction teams. Um, so a lot of your manufacturer, even some of your restaurant chains, telecommunications, they all have these internal construction companies, and that's kind of something when you think of VP of construction or something, that's what you would look at there, or even a business owner if you want to start your own. There is some construction management companies that they don't actually own equipment; they just have people that works for them, and they just manage projects. So they'll reach out to the other vendors and to the design professionals, and they'll put the project together and they'll manage it turnkey from start to finish. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, where technical skills meet business leadership. This is something kind of what I was talking about. So you have team leadership, project management, business operations, safety and compliance. These are all key things that you need for this, for your construction to be successful. And a lot of this, like your leadership courses, your management courses, this is all key for this. These are things that if you just went in with your diploma, you're not going to have those key leadership classes and management classes that you would need for the higher level management positions. So this really gets you prepared, and it sets you up for success. All right, next slide. Okay, supervisory roles in key industries. All right, so when we think of construction management and trades management and this degree program, we we kind of narrow our mind to just being a construction manager for a construction company, when in reality, there's a lot of other things out there that you can do. So if you have your diploma in electrical or HVAC, well, once you obtain this degree, that sets you up perfect for like a maintenance supervisor position, because not only do you have the background in electrical, HVAC, mechanical, that type of work, but now you've got the supervisory classes, leadership classes, other key things that you need. So it aligns really well with maintenance supervisor for different industries. Okay, so like mining supervisor. So the different types of mining, coal mining, gold, mineral, zinc. There's even salt. There's a lot of different mining applications, and it kind of operates a lot like your construction company. You still have the engineering departments, the finance departments, the operations, maintenance. So it really just goes hand in hand together. The same with oil and gas supervisor, manufacturing supervisor. So if you look at a large manufacturing operation, one of your automotive manufacturers or equipment manufacturers, they all have automated machines, HVAC, a lot of forklifts, a lot of different things that the knowledge you get from the diplomas and the leadership from the bachelor's degree that just goes hand in hand together. All right, so next slide. All right, from classroom to job site. Okay, so here's a couple scenarios, and it's just something to think about. So both of these, basically, you're the construction project manager for a mid-size office build. All right, so your role is to make a decision that balance cost, time, safety, and quality. All right, so stage one, planning. So the question, the architect delivers plans, but your lead engineer says a key material will cause delays. So there's three options here. Stick with the plan, risk schedule delay, approve substitution, risk higher cost, or call a design meeting to explore options. So in the real world application, there is a few things we could do here. Yeah, we could stick with the plan and risk that delay, um, or the higher cost. Uh, Definitely call a meeting and explore options. But a lot of times, what we do is when we're looking for that build and we at least have an ideal of the equipment we need, once the budget is approved, we pre order that equipment. That way, those materials that's required that has a long lead time, we already have them by the time the project advances to that stage. So yes, we can go ahead and break ground, but we don't have to worry about the lead time with that, because by the time we get to that stage in the project, we should have the materials. Okay, stage two, workforce management. So the question is, two subcontractors bid on framing. So do we go lowest bid, less experienced crew, higher bid, proven track record, or negotiate hybrid, assign low bid crew but add more inspections? So in that case, you really want to vet all of your subcontractors, vendors ahead of time. It's good to give people experience. So a crew with less experience, they need that experience so they can develop, but at what cost to us? What kind of building are we building, or project are we working on? Um, so that's the situation that we want to vet them ahead of time. And if we do go with someone with less experience, that's where it's important to have a highly experienced project manager, superintendent on site, foreman that's with them. That way they can develop, they can get the experience, and then they are supervised um, with someone that has seen it all, someone that has the experience to know what's going on. All right, next slide. Okay, so we've got two more examples here. All right, so the same situation, mid-size office build. Okay, the first one, stage three, is safety incident. So an incident occurs on site, minor injury. So do we push the schedule, deal with OSHA later, halt work for safety audit, address incident, retrain workers, resume cautiously? So when there's an accident on a job site or wherever you're working, it could be one of the mining applications. It could be a manufacturer. There's a lot of different situations. Safety should be number one. And we get complacent. The longer we do the job with no injuries, the more complacent we get. So we always need to always stay refreshed, retrained with safety. That's why a lot of companies, we do safety meetings each morning or at the start of the week. That way, it just puts it back in your mind to be cautious. I have unfortunately witnessed a lot of injuries, a lot of back injuries, uh, and then some slips and falls. But so like push schedule, deal with OSHA later. If it's a minor injury, that's not required to be sent to OSHA. So they don't have to be notified unless it is a death or something that hospitalizes someone, or they lose a limb. So major injuries, they would have to be notified. You can't push it. Um, halt work for safety audit. That's a good idea. Maybe we should see what happened and try to restep to prevent it in the future. And that kind of goes with C, address incident, retrain workers, resume cautiously. So after you've identified what the issue is, what caused the accident, that is the time that we need to retrain the workers, foremans, everybody on site. That way they're aware and it doesn't happen again. Because nobody wants to call someone's family member or loved one and say, hey, they've been in an accident. No matter, I mean, if it's serious or not, it's just not something you want to do. Okay, client pressure. Question: client requests last minute design changes. So, do we approve changes, risk schedule cost, deny changes, client dissatisfaction, approve partially with new contract addendum? So, when you're dealing with clients, I'm sure you've heard the customer is always right. Um, if a change order is required, it's usually best to do what the client wants because word of mouth will ruin your reputation and business if possible. If as long as you still meet codes, standards, safety, it's good to try to do what the client wants. If they want to add another room, it's going to put you back through the design process, funding. It is going to be some work and some time, but the schedule will have to be adjusted to meet that. Um, they can't expect you to work miracles. All right, next slide. Okay, so that finishes up the part that I had, and then coming up is Jeffrey Williams and Cheri Hedger, and they're going to talk about the career services and some interviewing processes.
All right. Thank you, Gerald. That was very thorough. That was a great overview. So what we're gonna do now is take from what Gerald said, and you all are learning about the stuff. Some of you already graduated. And we're gonna take that and put it into actual real life situations and how this affects the next step because we want to know, okay, what are we doing and learning and getting to this degree, but now we want to assimilate what you learned in class and we want to take it into um how you apply it into your career. So I could share if you want to talk about the associate's degree part and what kind of jobs, and then I could talk about the bachelor's degrees.
Yeah, you bet. So, on the associate, I'm sorry. So, when you graduate with your associate's degree in construction trades management, um, the types of jobs that you can look at would be construction project coordinator, for example. And I'm trying to get over here. So, let's see. All right. So on the construction project coordinator, they would typically work under a supervisor and they would be responsible for learning and making sure that the coordination uh, the coordination and all the aspects of the project are going smoothly. As far as an assistant site manager, hang tight with me just a minute. Okay. So, what as far as the assistant site manager position, some of the duties that would be involved in that would be managing the daily operations, staff supervision, customer service. Um, you would be responsible for hiring and training employees, scheduling, projecting their schedules, managing inventory, etc. Um, and these are just a few of the positions that you can get, that you can apply for with your associate's degree. Facilities supervisor, where you're overseeing the facility itself, the maintenance, and so forth. You're supervising people in the facility. And bear with me. My computer is not.
So basically, Cheri, no, you're making a good point. So basically, what she's saying is, and that's great what you're saying. When you get the associate's degree, so the skills you already learned being on site and already doing some of the basic roles was HVAC, construction, site, even just a site worker. I mean, there's different ones doing your own, running your own business, what have you. The construction project coordinator, assistant site supervisor, facility supervisor, operations tech, all of these have some kind of management capacity in one way or another. They're all different, but you'll be hiring people, you'll be managing them, leading them, or what have you. So and everywhere. And these are just a few of the jobs. So that's basically what she was saying. And the associate's degree opens you up to that. So it's always good to do that. And now we have the new program, which is the bachelor's program. And that gets you over to a bigger segment. So now it's not just the management, but it's the project manager. So you'll be working with the schematics. You'll be working with, if there's new building projects or new things, you'll be on that team, either developing it, doing it, working it, maintaining it. Same thing for site superintendent versus site manager. You'll be superintendent, so you'll be doing multiple sites. Facilities operations manager, same thing, probably way more money. Safety and compliance manager, so the person making sure that the sites are safe, not just for yourself, but for people who are going to be inside the building or inhabiting it. And then finally, there's GM roles. So there's many different facets that the bachelor's degree opens up past the associate's degree. And you'll already have the experience coming from the campuses or just having, basic background. In career services, we will help and tailor your resume to show that you have a lot of these skills already on the entry level. You could put next slide. All right. So some top hiring companies. So, and we work with many more, but some of them are Turner Construction, Bethel Corporation, I'm not going to butcher that name, but the third one, Kuwait Corporation, a bigger than we work with, I didn't put on here, is Tradesman. That's a really huge one we work with. They hire a lot of folks, and Mantech, DPR Construction, Flora Corporation, AECOM. So these are just some companies that hire. And the reason I put these is because these hire nationwide, not just in your respective area, but nationwide. So if you want to relocate or you want more opportunity or you want remote roles, not very many in this field, but there are some, believe it or not, these would be some of the top companies you look at. Next slide. All right. So if you want to go over some of this, Cheri.
Sure. So in preparing for positions, definitely want to, in your resume, highlight your management and logistics, safety coursework on your resume. Don't forget your soft skills that you have there and transferable skills. So don't forget to look back at your past experience and anything that is related to construction. And as Gerald had mentioned earlier, there's a lot involved in that. Make sure that you pull out those transferable skills from your past and get those on your resume. Learn key credentials, get your OSHA 1030, your NYSER, your PMP for advancement. Project management, you can get certified as a project manager for your PMP. Network via LinkedIn, Associated Building and Contractors, NAHB. Networking is your biggest friend. And I will tell you, so construction, back in the day, back in the day, a lot of construction people, they didn't worry about applying for jobs. They got a job through word of mouth. They, a friend would have a job and they needed help, and so they would call Joe and say, "Hey, are you working? We need some help over here."
Or they just
But
walk to the site.
exactly. And so that is not necessarily as easy as it used to be, but networking, and let me just back up. That type of hiring is not as prevalent as it used to
There you
be.
go.
However, don't dismiss networking, because the more people you know, the more likely you are to get a shoe in through a recommendation. So yes, networking is huge. Use your class projects and internships as portfolio examples.
Big ones.
Um,
Big one.
Huge. Yes, because it demonstrates to an employer that you have the hands-on
There you
experience,
go. Hmm.
and you can talk about that in your interview. And then definitely you have to attend virtual job fairs, regular job fairs. They've got events hosted all over the place. Check out, your local chamber of commerce. They have lots of events that and meetings for hiring. So don't forget that.
And career services sends these resources to you too when we're working with you. So
Yeah.
we'll send these resources to you. I wanted to also interject real quick about the virtual job fairs. That not just virtual. There's also ones locally as well, and we'll be sending it. It's just virtual has more opportunity for nationwide opportunities. So that's the great thing about virtual. But we'll also send you ones that are local. Like I know Job Fair X has one in every major city in the United States, and even some suburban cities as well. And I know they have a lot of trades and construction stuff. So you can next slide. All right. So Sheriff, if you want to do translate the first two, and then I'll do the last ones, the last three.
You bet. Okay, so translate your skills. In other words, don't just list your task. Say, you know, um, especially in your interview, you don't want to just read off your task. You want to discuss what all was involved in it. Talk about the technical work that shows your leadership and experience and how you uh, utilize that in your job. Describe the situation. Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead of myself. Um, for example, I managed a 5-person crew to complete framing ahead of
There you
schedule.
go.
You definitely want to explain that and go through that. Behavioral questions.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is one of my favorites. You can use the STAR method.
Yes.
So, um, behavioral questions. Tell me about a time when you solved a conflict on a work site. And when you discuss that, you do want to use the
Mhm.
STAR method. You want to talk about what was the situation, what all did it involve, what were the tasks that you took
Use
to
your skills you
resolve
learned in
the
class for that.
situation. Yep.
Mhm.
What actions and how, what was the result of it. And that will let an employer know your thought processes and how you handle those. So
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. Good one. Yeah. How'd you
yeah.
handle a work like accident where the porta potty fell over? That's happened.
Yeah, yeah,
Happened. A bulldozer or something runs into it. Someone's trapped in the porta potty. This is the situation. I was alerted to it. That shows that you were aware, you're paying attention. Um, Task. I made sure I consulted the safety manual, or I made sure that everyone evacuated, got out of the spot. I sanitized the area, what have you. I'm not in this field, so I'm not going to speak over anyone. But in class, we learned compliance, we learned OSHA rules, or what have you, and I made sure that we sanitized the area. The action we took is we went and consulted the right people, or we used the right materials to do A, B, and C, things you learned in class. And as a result, everyone was safe. We were able to get back to work. There were no injuries, and we were able to still finish everything we need to complete that day, or even ahead of schedule, despite the mishap. Boom.
right.
Shows that you stay calm, you know the rules, and you had an action step. Forgive me for being vague. I don't know that field too well, but just I want to say something that's kind of relatable. But as far as safety
Mhm.
and team focus, so as I just mentioned, employers want leaders who prioritize safety and teamwork. In this field, that is very, very vital. And then mention toolbox talks, incident prevention, or mentoring apprentices. These are things that are looked at for leadership roles, mentorship, looking at ways to prevent accidents, things that a manager or someone in management would take for importance. So you will put this on your resume. You'll speak on this in your interview. Uh, it's one thing upon your resume, but in the interview, make sure you give examples with it. And then the education is the most vital part of how you utilize your associate's or bachelor's degree. You show that your degree has opened the door for more opportunities for you. You don't just say, "Hey, I got it," because they're going to ask, "What made you? How is your degree going to help?" You've been doing A, B, and C for 1, 2, 3, 4 years. How's it going to help? Easy. I have project management skills. I'm able to manage and train and mentor other people to make them better. You have to, and these are things you actually learn in the program. So make sure you leverage. That's the word we're going to use. We leverage and highlight your education. Next slide. All right. So you're already doing it. So apply today. Everybody, when you work with career services, we will be doing all these things with you, especially towards the end of your program and after you graduate, because we want you to start applying for jobs and what have you even before you finish. But we want to make sure you have your LinkedIn and stuff together. We'll sit down and make sure you do mock interviews. We'll look at different leadership roles for you, as we've mentioned some of them. So our team will sit down with you and we will apply to jobs with you. We will tell you where to search, because sometimes one of the most difficult things when you apply and finish your program is to know where to start looking, what to look for, because it can be very vague in this field. So that's what we're here for. So we want to make sure that you're looking at roles that are going to leverage your degree, because that's exactly what you're doing. You want to use your degree to make more money, be more successful, more impactful, and show your management skills. So it's not just about finishing the program. It's about positioning yourself for leadership in the field as well. Your trade skills got you here, but your management education will take you further. Go to the next slide. So with that said, you have Q&A for everyone. And then definitely as we close out, I definitely want to let everyone know where you can follow up for any questions or anything else you'd like to know, but we'll do that at the end. So. Any Q&A?
Yeah, so there were a couple of questions in the chat. We had one from Hunter. Hunter was wondering what are the classes for the bachelor program. He finished the associate program and is unsure of he's unsure if he wants to take the next leap. So if you finished your associate degree with us, you are able to apply all 92 of those credits, leaving only 92 credits to finish your bachelor degree program. And the courses within that program are basically, they're a compilation of business courses, management courses, leadership courses, and then the core courses in that program for as far as the industry courses all include introduction to masonry, HVAC and construction equipment. There's courses with floor systems, ceiling joists and roof framing, roofing applications and wall systems, basic stair layout, electrical safety, and then also plastic pipe, copper tube, and fittings. So it's a mix of not only furthering your skills and your industry expertise, but then also honing in on that leadership and management component that comes with the bachelor degree. And then we also had a question from Katie. Katie is wondering if these classes are entirely online or if there's an on-site attendance requirement. She just finished her electrical program at BTI. So yes, all of our associate and bachelor programs are 100% online. There's no in-person requirement for either of the degrees. So you can complete all of it online. And all of the courses, it sounds strange, right, to learn some of these skills in an online environment, but we found some really good vendors and some really good courses that include some simulations and stuff to hopefully be able to help you acquire those skills in a thorough way through like simulations and stuff like that, so that you can learn all the necessary skills. Gerald, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I did want to add something to Hunter's question, because Hunter said he didn't know if he wanted to take the leap. First, congratulations on your associates. That's a big step in its own. But I have noticed there is some employers that requires a bachelor's just to basically get into a project management position, or as low as even a foreman position. So it might be worth it to just bite the bullet and to go for it. Even part-time while you're working for a company, you maybe even can get that company to help with tuition, either reimburse or pay up front. But I think it's definitely worth it. And then the question that you was talking about, Amber, I think that with that background, I think it would be great to just move on to the. Oh, now my dogs are barking. I had them put up. I
They're
had them hidden
agreeing. They're
away.
agreeing. They're agreeing with you. They're agreeing with you.
Yep. Now I've lost train of thought. Um,
You were
yeah.
talking about. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So the
You were co-signing with how the bachelor's goes on and some of the career fields, and you're mentioning how you had someone relative to it.
yes, thank you. I'm sorry, everybody.
No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I think it would be perfect to move on with the bachelor's though. And Brittany's question about the electrical program, adding the bachelor's of construction and trades management is perfect for the electrical program too. I mean, I think it's a perfect fit, which all of them are, but it's I think it's a win-win situation to just go for it and do it. That way, when you do start uh, at a new company or something, that's out of the way. It's like, hey, I got a bachelor's, and it's kind of like the entry now is just having that bachelor's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Gerald. So Brandon's wondering, the classes for the associate degree after the trade program. And so Brandon, how we set that up is we take your credits from whichever diploma program you completed, and then we apply that to your associate degree. And then those courses include a mix of general education courses such as math, psychology, English, and then also project management 1 and 2. We also have practical computer applications for trades, economics for trades, and then trade spreadsheet skills. So, it's really focused on courses within trades with some general education courses mixed in, and then that totals your 92 credits for your associate degree. The associate degrees, if you start from scratch, typically take 18 months. But because you're able to apply your diploma to your associate, typically it's 6 months to get your associate degree. And then, if you applied your associate degree into your bachelor's, we just launched that. So, it'd be 92 credits, so probably an additional 18 months to finish that bachelor degree.
Good stuff.
Yep. And Jason, no, currently we do not offer opportunities to test out of the core courses. You can test out of some gen eds, but not any of the core courses. And then also we will, when we send a follow-up email, we will send out the transfer guides and some additional information for you as well. So you'll have all this in an email as well.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? I saw one that was given prior from Career Services. It said, "What kind of companies hire construction trades management graduates?" So, good answer to that will be general contractors, so places like Turner Construction or tradesmen, residential commercial builders, government agencies, so like city planning, transportation, facilities management, trade service firms, so like plumbing companies, HVAC, electrical. And even just facilities and property management firms. So for those of you who've done property management or worked as leasing agents or something, there's a lot of opportunities for that, especially with a lot of new buildings being constructed these days, or even in, I know in DC, that's where I live, because a lot of government workers were called back to work, they, minus the shutdown going on right now, but in general, there was a lot of buildings that needed facilities, and a lot of those jobs opened up, like a plethora of them. So everyone in that field were flocking to those roles. So stuff like that. So look at that in your local areas as well. Good question. Well, if there's no more, let me see. All right. If there are, oh, sorry, hold on. To accept the GI Bill. That's more of a admissions question. We do not have an admissions person on here. I don't want to step on their toes. Are you nodding yes, Amber, that we do, or?
I'm nodding that, yeah, you would want to talk to somebody in admissions
Yes. So if
financial aid to get.
Brittany, our production specialist has the number to admissions. I can actually say it out loud if you want. Let me look. These are good questions about military experience. So Brandon, and Jake, these are good questions. If we're gonna give you the admissions number, let me know you're ready. If there's somewhere, if someone could type it in, I'll type it in our chat, and if somebody could type it and give a call to this number, and somebody in our admissions department will help you. It's 866-278-3013. It'll be put in your chat. So someone would be happy with an amazing admissions team. They're very, very well trained, very knowledgeable, and they will answer anything you need. And one other, would the bachelor's help me with obtaining my electrical license? So the electrical license is something that you would probably obtain through the certification or the diploma program on the campuses or prior. Going through the bachelor's program puts you in a position more for management. So the expectation would be that you already would have this licensure, or at least have the business acumen or knowledge for it. However, it would help as far as learning or enforcing the things you've already done. You definitely can apply what you learned and get it. But once you get to the bachelor's program, the expectation would be to already have that. So that way it'll be easier for you to get a higher paying or a higher management role. You don't want to be looking at management jobs and then you don't have that. Does it make sense? Hope that answers your question. But that's a very good question. And let's see. Where would I start? I'm currently enrolled at the electrical program as well as AI as well as I've been. So yeah, same thing. Verona. Sorry if I got it wrong. So yes, contact the admissions department as well. They're amazing team. Just call it in, or yeah, call it in, and they will definitely help you. So any other questions? All right. Let me see. Sorry, y'all. All right. What about if I have a degree in diesel tech? Can I apply those credits to this? Amber?
Amber, while you're thinking about the answer to that, I will say that was one of my first ventures in college as I received a diploma in auto and diesel technology. And I worked for several years as a diesel tech while I was obtaining the other classes and the other trades license before I went back to school for my bachelor's and master's. So I don't know how you're going to answer that, but I will say that is a good way to at least get into the industries. And there's a lot of knowledge that you're going to obtain as a diesel tech that can help the really, get you set up for construction and trades management. But Amber, I'll let you answer that one though.
Yeah, and so even like there's even if it's not like a trades program or diploma program, it doesn't have to be the HVAC welding. There's other tracks too that we can take it as like a different track, other than that we can apply that diploma or that trade to the associate program to get that equivalency credit to continue your degree. So that's something that we can look at, and we look at it kind of a case by case basis, and that we can apply that certainly and for your degree.
Any other? What about welding? Will my credits apply to get my associates? Same thing, Amber? Same answer, basically?
Yeah, so the welding all come over and they apply to the associates leaving it's about, I think it's like 42 credits left after those diplomas are applied. And that would be with any of them. So, and we just kind of take a look at those and apply those. And then you have that same core set of courses for the associate degree.
All right. It looks like another question similar. Would getting my associates and bachelors help me as a landfill gas technician? I can answer that. Specifically, as a landfill gas technician, it would make you a lot more competitive. However, I think depending on the skill set and the job description, I can't speak on that because it's kind of open ended. But look at the job description. And if it asks for associate's or bachelor's degree, then that would be a yes. However, if it's not asking for that, then yes, it will help tremendously. But I think you'll be doing yourself a disservice not to really entrench on your education and leverage that to get a better and more rewarding job. Does that make sense? Hopefully so. And how much the cost for getting enrolled in the program? And do you have any kind of scholarships? That's a good question. So again, admissions, our producer, if you can go ahead and chat in the admissions number again, just to make sure everyone can contact them. I believe they're still open right now. If you want to call them when we get off the phone, I believe they're still open. And if not, call them first thing in the morning. But I think they're still taking calls until 8 or 9 Eastern time. So, or anytime you call in. So I just don't want to step on their toes and answer their questions. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending. Thank you for everyone who was on here. This was very good information and we love this. A copy of this will be also emailed to you all so you can reference it later and share with your colleagues in class as well, or anyone else who's interested in this career field. And I want you all to have a wonderful night and thank you from Miller-Motte College.